Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is your man Jay, and this is 3 days. This is 72 hours, a full 72 hours with this device. And in this video, the first two videos I did, I showed you a camera review, and then I gave you my first impressions on the first video. And in this video, this is that 3-day mark, that after the hype wears off type of video. Remember my series After the Hype? If you've been following me long enough, anybody remember that series After the Hype? At the third day, I never used to say really 72 hours. I would say after the hype, and that was pretty much 72 hours. But this is definitely after the hype 72 hours review with the Samsung Galaxy Fold. Now, this device has a 7.3-inch display when you open it up, and then has a 4.6-inch display on the outside. So, you know, that's the obviously the main selling point is, okay, yeah, we're gonna make sure you keep the device open pretty much for the entirety of your usage, and that way you can get some really good life out of it. You know, it'll benefit you more. But I learned something in the camera review portion of this time with the Galaxy Fold, and we could talk about specs and everything all we want to, but you know, I'm using the device and I'm learning some things about if I would have spent $2,000 on this, if I were the person paying $70 a month for this. So when you get past all of the things that the phone tells you that you can't do, that the reality sets in is that you really don't have to kind of baby it as much. If you're just using it and going about your day, I'm not really accident prone. Seems like the only phones I've really dropped and shattered was the iPhones. Like, I've dropped several iPhones from a short distance and they shattered and I had to get them fixed or get a replacement. This phone is 263 grams. So it's a weighty phone, but I know that if I were to drop this, it would shatter probably just on the outside. The inside is plastic, so, you know, there's no shattering there. And that would be put a case on it and keep it moving. Like, if I didn't have insurance or, you know, something down the line a year from owning this phone and I cracked the back, I would probably just throw a case on it because I probably wouldn't want to get it fixed. But the being gentle with it kind of wears off. It still sits in the back of your mind, but it kind of wears off a little bit to where you're not even thinking about it because you're enjoying the display, and you know, you're enjoying having the ability to use two hands. Some people say that this is the screen size of an iPad mini, and I have an iPad mini, and it's not really the screen size of an iPad mini. It may measure 7.3 across, but you know, I left my iPad mini in the desk. But when you put them side by side, I know the iPad mini has the bezels. It's just a different kind of feel. You know, it just feels different. Then, you know, this doesn't feel as large of a display as, you know, the 7.3 across. It just doesn't. I don't know. But nonetheless, day-to-day usage. How has the phone been? It's good. There's nothing wrong with flipping it open and using it in this fashion. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's perfectly fine. But the excitement, you know, the hype has definitely worn off. I'm not as excited as I thought I would have been. And you know, that's saying something, because some people are really stating, oh, you know, Jay, it's the future, and this may be the future. I'm all for it. I'm for change. This form factor, though, is really solid. It's a really nice form factor, being able to flip it open and get the screen. But honestly, folks, people laughed at my other folding phone, and I'm not going to bring it out. You know, I'm just going to focus on this phone. Yes, I still have it. But people laugh at that form factor. But when I actually think that I would rather have the crease in the center with the two glass screens. I think that's a much better way to do it. And they could keep this same form factor, because the phone has such a nice lip around it. When you close it, it will be fine. You know, of course, you stand some dropping issues, but it has this big rubber lip around the side, so you'll be fine if you were to close this up and there was a divider with two glass screens. I would have been perfectly fine with that. But you know, I think people are really kind of caught up on the fact that they think this is the future, and we're just going to let it be known that, you know, hey, This is okay, almost is what people are saying, but it's not okay. This may be great, but you know, I learned quickly that it's not really practical. It's not something that I could use daily. And now here's what I want you to do. You have some homework. I want you to, after you finish this video, I want you to go look at some of the reviews of this phone, and then just kind of scan through the person's channel to see if they're actually using it. In my camera review of this, I said that a lot of people probably won't continue to use this as a daily driver. It appears in my research that the only people using this as a daily driver are the people that bought it, that are paying the monthly fee for it or paid for it like regular consumers. They're not tech reviewers. They're pretty much in the comments of the video saying, hey, I own this phone and it's fantastic. It's the best tech I've ever used. Those are the people that you want to look to for some sort of a reality check for how the phone really is. Now, unfortunately, mixed in there are people who are just basically trying to justify their purchase and why they spent the $2,000 or why they're paying monthly on it, and you know why you should buy it too. But you have to be able to differentiate who's actually, because that's the problem with people who aren't tech reviewers. The phone that they're holding may be their only phone, or they love it so much they really can't see any flaws in it. And this phone has plenty of flaws. The screen is great, but it's plastic. And when you think about that, you know, don't tell me that, oh, it has to be plastic for it to fold. No, you can do like some other situations with the split screen and the two glasses screens. And some people say, oh, I could never use that. Yeah, I think you could. If you can use this phone, you definitely can use a phone that can do that. So the practicality of using this, I don't think a lot of people would want to use this as a daily driver like you think. And let's not make excuses saying that it's the first gen and that, you know, it's okay. It's not okay. This is a cool design, but I think the Razr phone obviously would be the better design. The hinge is strong. And it's a well-built device. But again, practicality, I just don't see it. I would rather have a tablet and then a phone still. And this is just because this design isn't impressive enough to make me say, I'm dropping my tablet. I'm dropping my phone. I'm going to give my money to this. Now, even if, here's something that's going to shock you guys. Remember when I first heard about this phone, I said, no, I can't go over $1,000. Remember that? After having this phone for just 3 days, I'm going to give you some truth. And I hope you guys watch this video in its entirety because this is the part of the video where I tell you to put a hashtag in if you're paying attention. And I'm not saying this is your truth, but this is my truth. So at this very moment of approximately 8.5 minutes in, hashtag the truth. I don't think I would even enjoy this phone if it was less than $1,000. And that's probably going to shock a lot of people because people seem to think money is important. Money's not important. It's what you do with it and how you move it about and what you get when you have a little bit of it or how you spend it. Anyway, another lesson for you. I don't even think I would enjoy this phone if I paid $600 for it because it's not about the price tag. Does anybody know what a Fabergé egg is? There's some more homework for you. It's not about the price tag. It's about, is it beneficial? Is it going to make my life easier? I don't think so. I think this will be more of a hassle, if anything. You know, the status symbol of people who drive in a Mercedes, well, they don't really have that much money because I can afford a Mercedes. I choose not to buy one. Makes sense. So even if this phone was $550, oh, yes, we'll purchase it, but it wouldn't be something that I would feel comfortable using every day because it's more of a hassle to plop this thing open and get a real experience typing an email out or a text. Instead of keeping it closed with one hand, which is something that you can technically do with one hand. Even with a phone that's not like this, I could actually text with one hand with my Pixel 4 XL. I could technically do it. With this phone, you see how much wider it is, you see how much work I have to do. And I just don't want you guys, not everybody's going to do this, but there are going to be some people that make excuses for this phone because of the price tag. This phone has too many can'ts or cannots. Can't do it. You know, there's too many of them. Now, my experience has been okay. But there's nothing mind-blowing about this phone, man. Just because it's something new doesn't mean it's great. This phone needs work. I would redesign this phone in a whole nother fashion. I think the Fold 2, like the one that's supposed to be coming with the clamshell, that is what I would consider a way better design than this. I don't think a lot of people actually want to carry around a big, thick phone like this just to say that they have the latest tech in their hand. I mean, are you looking at this, man? This is a thick, heavy brick. And I'm wondering, the people who review this, are they telling the truth? I mean, I got a case on this one, and look at how thick the Galaxy Fold is. Check that out. So, while this is very intriguing, let's try to get the facial recognition from back here. It's not working. While this is very intriguing, day-to-day usage on here, and that's pretty much what this video is about. And you know, I know some might say, oh, well, you haven't had it long enough. Well, when you buy something, you have this break-in period. You know what I'm saying? So you have a period of, after that excitement wears off, you will come to a situation where, okay, I'm just using this. I don't like this, or I don't like this. I don't like that. I like this. So this is a nice phone. But I don't think of it as a phone much because, you know, I have to open it to get the true experience of what it is. And this is not how I want to carry around my device with this big, wide phone. I don't want to do it. Another thing that I found out about in that camera review is that I didn't realize how horrible these cameras were on the inside. Like I said in the video, these cameras on the outside and this one on just the cameras outside here are great. This, horrible. In every situation that I tested them in, they were bad. They were washed out and flat. And again, it goes back to the price. Okay, I could give them a pass, son, if it was like $550, $600 for this tech that I'm holding. I would say, okay, well, you know, I could just use the other ones, but not for $2,000. You don't get a pass for anything at $2,000. If you bought this phone from the carrier and there's things you don't like about it, I would suggest that you return it if you're within your first 14 days, because you can get an even better understanding within 14 days. But for most people, they're still in that. That's why have you ever thought about why there's a 14-day return period? Just think about that for just a second. During that beginning stage, the hype is gonna wear off. And so somebody thought about this and said, man, we're getting a lot of returns, but they're coming at about this day of the month. 3 weeks in, people are really starting to bring these back at some point or another. I'm just kind of speculating. Now, I'm not saying I'm right, but you have to have thought about it at one point. Why is there a 14-day return period and not a 21-day return period? This is to lock you in and get you to really fall in love with it. And then by the third week or so, you're probably thinking, oh, man, I don't really like this, but I'm stuck with it now because I can't return it. Think about that. Why a 14-day return period? Just something to think about. Just saying. But I think if you bought this phone and you found anything about it to the smallest detail that you didn't like, even if you're financing this phone and you are within your 14-day period and anything comes up that you don't like, I suggest you return it, because you're still in the end paying $2,000. And I know they have these trade-in programs and all this other stuff, but $70 a month, give me that $70 a month. I'll put it to work for you. There's no reason a phone should be $70 a month. And to the people that would say, well, Jay, everybody is, stupid for buying an iPhone at $1,500, opposed to buying the Galaxy Fold. Here's my response to that. And I'm not saying any one person said this, because several people have said this, not just on my video, but other videos about the Galaxy Fold, that it's stupid to buy this phone because it's stupid to buy the iPhone 11 Pro Max over this. But I would say no. I would say go ahead and go with that other phone that you think is stupid, which is the iPhone 11 Pro Max for $1,500 over this. And again, this is after having this phone. There's too many things about this phone that are not stable, in my opinion. Like the cameras should not be this jacked up in the inside. It's a plastic screen. I can't scratch the screen. I can't do all these things. There's, to me, really no comparison of this phone with the iPhone 11 Pro Max, because they're in different worlds, but they cross paths when it comes to the basic functions, and that is where the iPhone is better. Basically, doing a text, shooting a quick video, doing a video chat, typing out an email, social media. Most people will feel hassled by opening up, again, think about that 14-day return. Most people are going to feel hassled by having to flip this open, hurry up and catch, You can just unlock your iPhone and do what you need to do and close it back up. Now, this video is not to trash this device. I'm just giving you my experience. One thing I enjoyed was editing on this thing, man. Editing on it was great. I mean, just having this large canvas was fantastic to be able to edit on. I thought it was fantastic, this big surface. But this isn't the first phone that has a 7.3 inch display or a 7.2 inch display. Wow, it made 20x beast mode, and I could do stuff with one hand with that. I'm just saying, the phone is nice, folks. It's not mind blowing. And after having it, like I said before, I wouldn't even pay $1,000 for this because it's not practical. As much as I love Samsung products, you already know what it is, son. I would tell a person, don't try to compare this to anything. Buy it. Check it out for yourself. Like, watching reviews on this might confuse people, because I'm probably the only person online right now that might say, besides TK and a few other people, you'll see a lot of people not telling the truth about this phone, about the practicality side of it. I saw TK's video. He's been having so many problems with his screen. And I thought, man, I don't want those problems, son. That's a $2,000 problem that I won't be able to make go away. It'll sit in the back of my head. You know, thank goodness that, I didn't buy this. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a loaner that I have to send back. But reality check for me is, forget all the price, forget all the problems. It's just not practical at all. So I often wonder, the people that reviewed this, are they using it like you are? For you that actually bought this and have had it, and I see your comments, shout out to the people who have had this for months or since September. Shout out to those people. You get mad respect from me, because I'm a phone reviewer. I'm not a genius. I'm not a master at reviewing phones. I make my mistakes, and I make some good points at times, I think. And I also try to make people think about things, because some of the people that might really be excited about this phone, they haven't really grasped hold of it. It may be practical for them, but this phone to me isn't even worth $1,000 after having it in just 3 days. And it's not because I review phones. It's because I decided to use this in a form factor that doesn't have anything to do with reviewing phones. You have to just use it. And as soon as I start to feel hassled by something, which this to me is a hassle, just to do the basic things like a good text message, I didn't want to open it up. I thought I would be excited about that. The only excitement I get from this phone is when I'm kind of working on it, which is just editing. But other than that, that didn't happen that many times. I haven't edited much on here. So, and maybe I'll edit this video on here. Who knows? But editing on here is really cool. You know what I'm saying? So I think that I learned within 3 days that I would be returning this phone if I would have financed it or just bought it straight out. Not because of the $2,000. I can't stress that enough. It's more about, it's not practical yet. The clamshell will be extremely practical because it's making something smaller in your pocket, and then you open it up and you get a big screen. You pretty much get the size of a Galaxy Note screen. And I know you've seen the leaks. They're out there. That's practical. Now, even with that said, the Razer phone coming in at $1,500, they're freaking crazy. And if Samsung tries to drop that foldable phone in the clamshell for over $1,000, I'm out. I'm not doing it. I can't do it. I don't want to do it. I'm going to have to sell some phones or something to get that phone under $1,000 for me to buy it. Do a trade-in or something, because there's no way I'm spending $1,000 on a foldable phone with all the risks being pushed off to me. Does that make sense? I mean, I could be crazy or something, but call it what it is, folks. I don't see it. I don't see the practicality, and I don't see the value in this yet. For all those that might say, Jay, you wasted 20 minutes of my time watching this video just to tell me that my purchase wasn't practical. Well, if it's practical for you, then son, go with it. Don't worry about what I'm talking about. But I'm just saying, there's no way I would finance this phone for $70 a month. And then I just don't see, and I'm talking about me, my experience. I don't see the usage like I thought I would. No way. So with that being said, if you bought the Galaxy Fold, enjoy it. Get your money's worth, whatever you think that is. But I don't see it. I don't see it. And for those that, like I said, for those that skip through the video, I'm saying this isn't worth $1,000 to me. So I often wonder and question the reviewers that are telling you that this is fantastic and it's so, oh man, it's this, it's that. Get out of here. You see the cameras on the front of this thing? It may be a collector's item, but it's no item that I want to collect. I'm not really into it like that. It's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed. Day 3. Really losing interest. Let me get this case back on here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, day 3. I think I'm really losing interest. And it's definitely not like what I thought it was going to be. I'm telling you, man. I don't know. It's just me. This form factor right here may be cool for making phone calls, but no quick texts on here. You know what I'm saying? Like what one would think. No quick texts. And look, you get all of the apps. You know what I'm saying? You get pretty much what you need on the front here to get it going. But practical? Nah, man. I don't see it. It's your man Jay. We finish where we start. Take care.